So first thing I want to be addressed in terms of your start position, okay? You had the club very much kind of centred, in some ways slightly leaning back a little bit there, okay? You see sort of up the shaft, that's sort of just the side of your head there. Certainly both arms now kind of levelled off here. Shoulders are fairly level in their sort of setup position, okay? And we want to try and get a little bit more tilt there, that lead arm to be a bit more in line with the club shaft. Yeah. And then your right arm now, you can see a bit more across there. So you actually get a little bit of a sort of tilted triangle, should we say? Yeah. Okay. In some ways, almost like a lot of people talk about the reverse K. So you've got that down there, and then you almost got like a little reverse K going that way. If I sort of join them up there and
I know what you mean.
Like that, yeah. So from the left shoulder down there, your arm. I mean, you could go a little bit further forward, but where you are, there's absolutely fine. You can see your thumb now just sitting across the grip. Compared to that, I mean, look how long your thumb just looks in that position there. Really stretching down there in terms of where your wrist position is now. If I go up here, that grip now is through your left wrist. Or if I go through here now, your left wrist is kind of over there somewhere off to the side. So just getting in the fingers gives you much more mobility, more control, more range of motion. It just takes the tension out of your setup. You're just relaxed over that ball a bit more. You're not kind of so locked up and out. Because look at this backswing here now on the left where you went back before. That's as far as you could go, really. Look at this length backswing on this one here now. I've not said to you make a longer backswing, have I?
Yeah, you're right.
But you are. Just because you're able to know. So what happened is you were going 100% on that one there, but your 100% was there. If you went back further, you had to really lift up more. Then as you came back to the golf ball here now, oh, exactly, yeah. Catching the bottom edge of the club, they see the ball along the ground, they're sort of shooting off the side and sort of swiping your arms through. Not much lower half movement there at all. Again, I've not mentioned your lower half, just by virtue of a better setup. Your arms sort of feel like a bit of a drop here now. Much better strike of the ball there, as you can see. And they started moving, and look at the swing. So you started doing things just because now physically you can. I think you kind of had a concept. It will do eventually, yeah. I mean, I think at the moment now, we don't kind of independently move that foot. The thing is, because you've been in the ground behind the ball and leaning back, your right foot's got very much kind of used to just staying flat. As you're moving this way, it's still a little bit flatter, but in time, once that shift of weight moves a bit more, and that'll be something to do more next lesson probably, as you start moving a bit more this way, as I said, changing the low point, you had a couple of shots where you hit the ground a bit behind the ball, and you sort of asked us that because I've dropped too much. It's not you dropping too much. If you want to hit the ground anyway, but we've got to move that low point this way, and that's how we do that with the movement of the body. Yeah. I wouldn't worry about that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because if we add too many things in terms of what you're trying to do, you just do nothing. I'd rather you focus on a good setup, get that grip position correct, get that kind of tilted triangle as we called it, okay? So you're more of a...
Sort of the finer points after.
Well, exactly, yeah. Just get things slightly more kind of correct at address. Static changes you can make because you're not moving the club. Once that club goes in motion, when that club starts moving back there, you're at about 883, you're hitting the golf ball probably before 10, almost 9, so a second later. What can you think of in a second? Really? There's not a lot that can go on in your head there between that sort of time that club goes back to impact. But certainly in terms of that impact position there now, we look for that sort of straight line there with the arm. You've got that really nicely, okay? Really, really good position. This lead arm is in sort of a cross position there. And then swinging through with a nice fluid swing, striking the ground, the ball going up in the air. Very, very good movement. Looks a lot more fluid and rhythmical and longer in terms of the swing. Yeah. Things can move, whereas this one here, just your head does almost disjoint with your body. It's like, I can't move it because I'm so low, I must keep my head down, and just a very sort of like stuck, restricted swing. And again, even though your head was still down here, even after the ball disappeared out the screen, I mean, your head's still down. Probably now your head's coming up. Well, that ball's gone 30, 40 yards. So there's never really, I lifted my head because I topped it, okay? Or I looked to it. And if for you to look to, you break your neck if you're not careful. I mean, if you're here now, get top of the backswing, you've got to then move your head against your body because your torso's turned this way anyway. You've got to try and get your shoulders back to here so your neck can do this.
It's going to be some nerves pop.
You'd be seeing our chiropractor on site very regularly. You have a real sore neck. So yeah, never try and keep your head down or keep it still because you can't move. You see a very restricted swing. Like I say, a lot of the things there, and this is for me where coaching kind of needs to look at what can we do to give you one thought that's changed like 4 things, don't it? Your backswing's got longer, you've created more power, you're finding a low point better, you're turning through more.
It's just having that
bit of flow with the swing. Exactly. I think most people, when they, especially guys, if I'm being honest. Okay, we want to grip on for deal. I want to give it a whack.
Yeah.
We think the tighter we grip it, the more power we got.
Yeah.
And the thing with golf is, whereas other sports, if you're playing football or rugby or other sports, if you're losing momentum or the game's going to get, just hit someone hard, just tackle someone hard, just put a tackle in, or just do something that's going to get a bit of aggression. It can change momentum. In golf, it's not going well, and you think you're going to grip
It's the opposite, yeah.
exactly. And the golfer says, "All right, go on, hit me. He's like, I'm not going to move, hit me."
Yeah.
And it just gets worse and worse, and people get so like rolled up and tight. So we can get that kind of looseness back into your game, get more of a flow with the swing, then we can start making these swings. And I say there's a good movement there, to be fair. I mean, there's nothing really that would say you can go on the golf course fairly. You're going to start playing fairly regularly, really. And I would say now, based on this swing here, from what I know from having played a few corporate events myself, that swing there is definitely course ready and good enough to go on the golf course and play with some of the corporate clients you'd have and stuff and doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
This one not so much, but you can see you can do it when you're set up correctly. Okay,
Yeah.
It wouldn't happen every single shot right now because it's still obviously fairly new in sort of in its process. But once you kind of get used to that movement, we'll add another thought probably next lesson, maybe in a couple of weeks' time, week or so's time, depending on your time obviously with your kids and stuff.
I'm playing on Thursday, but I'll try and
Yeah.
get the range. Maybe
Well, when you're playing Thursday,
Super
if
time.
you're playing with a couple of mates on Thursday, hopefully,
Yeah.
if you're down there and you say, film some swings, email them back to me or WhatsApp them back to us, oh, how's it looking?
Yeah.
Anything I'm doing wrong? Am I doing anything I shouldn't be doing? Or am I adding things? My mates are telling me to do this. Is this correct? And I'll probably say no. So,
I'll
just feel free.
ignore everything,
I mean, something they might say might actually be beneficial or helpful. But the problem is, if you're thinking about doing what you're doing from here and they add thoughts into your head, you forget what you're doing there.
Yeah.
So as much as this is a good thing to think about when this is kind of done, if you stop doing that, the thoughts they're giving you can't do anyway because you haven't done the first thing. So it's just sometimes going to be too much. So just, feel free to keep in contact when
Yeah,
you're
no,
playing.
I appreciate
If you're
that.
down the range, film some swings.
Yeah, well, I have done before. So
Just ping them over, and that for me is always a good thing, just to keep that kind of contact back and forth. One thing a bit of a golfer myself, as you probably realised, I like to keep up that communication with people I give lessons to. They go down the range, and you can just send through like feedback, swings. Say, look, I'm hitting the ball this way. Ball's going left. Ball's going right. What do you suggest? Is it worth thinking about now? Yes or no? It might be a quick no. Forget about it. Is the ball going up in the air? Keep doing that. If it's going left or right, then we can work on the next time, kind of thing. And just sort of keep that process going. Not like, here's a lesson. You go away for the day, hit it great. See you in a month's time, and then that's it, nothing. Okay, so kind of keep up that if we can do. Not everyone does, if I'm honest, I guess, but if we can do, you can't. I promise. I'll show you a second. One of the guys I give lessons to, you couldn't give me too much. I promise you. Okay, so we can work on that setup, getting that kind of tilted triangle with a better grip, get more in the fingers and looser. Then your swing thought now is just to feel almost a sort of drop into the ground. Yeah, get that sensation of the club coming down. Learn to find the ground. Once the club hits the ground, we can then move where that ground is struck over and over. Yeah, make sense?
Yeah.
Good man, very good. Pulled over a shocker and over there.